Let's just find out what's going to happen here. We are, of course, now on Daybreak. And as you can see, starting at the bottom left of the map in blue, we have our Zerg player for Team Fnatic. This is Jay. And that's old ID Lovesick. And starting to the top right is his opponent, the Spanish, part of the Spanish Armada. His brother not playing in this group. We have LucifroN, the Terran player in green, who is down a game and needs to find a way to defeat Jay here if he wants to force the third game.
Yeah, indeed. So, we talked about the mutilating baneling attack. On this map, I feel like compared to the last map, there's 2 entrances to the base. You've got 2 ramps, so you have to make this super wide supply depot wall. Then, if the Zerglings come around the other side, that doesn't even matter that you have that wall. On this map, there's no real secondary path to get into the third base. You have to go into that one main path. But still, no Terran players are really walling the third base here with depots. They just put a bunker behind the command center most of the time with a few turrets. And that makes them relatively exposed in some ways, but there's not the same kind of double entrance that we saw on Whirlwind.
Yeah. And, well, LucifroN now, once again, with the command center first, apparently, already queued up all the SCVs. So this is really the style that he likes, building the supply depot at the front and then going straight for the wall with the command center. And on the other hand, we have, of course, Jay with a 15 hatch. I mean, anything else would be, like, really weird.
Yeah.
Unless you want to go for one base play and kind of surprise your opponent with, I don't know, maybe even a one base roach attack with the cancel on the natural hatch, or go for one base baneling busts, which you sometimes see, but it's very, very rare. It usually happens in the best of 3 when you really figured out how your opponent is opening up on a specific map when you're trying to punish that.
Yeah, the last time I saw a one base baneling bust was like 3 months ago. Actually, besides the one base baneling bust stuff that happens when you end up with a situation where suddenly someone contains you with bunkers, they kill the neutral depot, then you're stuck and you have to do one base baneling bust, or you lose your natural and you get stuck contained in the main.
Right now we have the hatch going down for Jay, and gas already in the main base of LucifroN.
Yeah, so he's actually gonna jump into that gas right away. Wants to get his Hellions out as soon as possible to control the creep spread. And this chair that I'm sitting on, man, I actually didn't switch it yet, but like it was doing okay for me. And at this point, it kind of keeps reminding me. It's like, hey Wolf, you should probably just get a new chair because something dangerous could happen if you don't. I'm gonna get like impaled by this little metal thing that's at the back if I'm not too careful. So SCV actually sees the early gas now for Jay in the main base, but he sees the pullout as well, so he knows, okay, you could be doing something sneaky here, but at the very least, I can't play too greedy. Gonna get his factory out at a very normal timing.
Yeah, now what we currently have is the second gas already done, and with the second gas done, there's not only the factory, he can go straight into the starport and then go for a Banshee play, for example. And at the bottom, we had actually like Jay pull out of gas. So he's currently in a position where he only gets his speed. He doesn't get attacked to lair just yet. The second queen popped out, and we still don't see a third base for him or anything like it. On the map like this, you want to kind of protect your second bases first, and he does not play this queen style, where you don't get the gas. He really wants to rely on the Zerglings with the speed here, and has a couple of Zerglings at the top right now. Actually, even able to kill down one of the SCVs.
Wow, and he gets both of them away too. I like that. That's just clever. 2 links pick off an SCV. And I think what ends up being cool when you do stuff like that is you feel like mentally like you've done something. When you get a little win like that, you're like, all right, yes. And as LucifroN, for example, you're like, I can't believe I let that happen. It does kind of get under your skin a little bit. Even though we're talking about one SCV here, that sort of thing can really mess with you. He's actually going in again to pick off an SCV, and he's going to get it. He gets an SCV and gets out a second time. And a third time he's going for it. Nope, decides not to, and this time the Marines will clean him up with speed. So, just a little bit more harassment.
Alright guys, so what we are going to do here, apparently there was a problem with the syncing here, and what we are going to do is just jump back a little bit. Apparently we were too far ahead of the rest, and now we're just trying to catch up so that everything works out. So we should be live with a French stream now again.
Yeah, everything should be synced up now, so we're gonna go watch those Zerglings do their deed again on the right side of the map.
Yeah, killed the SCV. The spiel is nearly finished now, and there are the 10 drones now currently on the board where we have the starport as well, the tag 2 layer. A few of those things we already mentioned. We were like a minute ahead of the stream apparently because there was a problem with what happened. So kind of things synced up again, and we are fixed with what is happening here. The Zergling is just running in, trying to take down another couple of SCVs. Not really working for him here whatsoever, but as you can see, we still have Jay with his 2-base play, trying to get into the lair tech right now and getting a lot of gas. It feels a little bit like he wants to do the same thing that he tried to attempt to do on Whirlwind, going into the Mutalisks really early and then just run it from there.
Exactly. I think that's probably what his plan is going to be. I like this build actually. It's becoming a lot more popular, and people have really figured out how to use it. Even if it's scouted, you can still make it work.
It's still risky, you know, because the problem is, first of all, on a map like Daybreak, you are vulnerable against good Hellion timings.
Yeah.
And I feel there are certain maps where you will die if your opponent is taking a risk and goes for a Marauder Hellion. There are just several timings that are so difficult to deal with. It's also the reluctance of him to go into a Baneling Nest as well.
That's
it leaves him
that's the big risk.
Yeah. Man. And you know, there we go. He's actually in a good position to defend against the Hellions, but that was really close.
Yeah, it was really close, and the Spinecrawler, you know, was just a second too late there, but the Lings bought the time. That was really nicely done with the Lings.
I feel against the aggressive Terran play, he will struggle with this build.
Yeah.
LucifroN is playing this very economy and late game oriented, so against him this works. But I feel if you have it, for example, imagine this against Key.
Yeah, then you're gonna die.
Yeah,
possibly.
Third base now coming up, and it's a bit faster than we saw in the last game. The Spire is not done yet, so he doesn't really have the Mutalisks to back this up and to just take the fight into the base of his opponent.
You're right, and it's without the Mutalisks just yet. Well, he's getting double evolution chambers with this, and this becomes a part of his wall. I just go back to what you talked about with the Keen thing. I like this build because I feel like if you see that coming, you can prepare, but there are a lot of risks. And how do you scout that build? It's really difficult because nobody who goes for Marauder Hellions is going to broadcast that and tell you, like, hey, by the way, I'm going for this really dangerous build.
For example, if you have like a Hellion and Marine attack, the one push that I really don't like because the Baneling Nest is the only thing that you need, even if the Mutalisks are out, you're gonna die because you just don't have enough to make that work. So it's a really taking risk, but it works well against LucifroN. So I can totally see that Jay watched a few games of his opponent and realized, well, you're not really the most aggressive player in the early game in this matchup. You like to play it a little bit more safe, so this gives me an opportunity to go for the attack. So I can really respect this decision of Jay. And now we have him with the Mutalisks, and that will give him an edge over the Hellions, of course, and make him safe with his third base. And also the Baneling Nest is now getting built. Yeah, these Hellions
have to get out, man. They can't stick around.
Yeah, they need to fall back now, and this leaves an option for Jay to be a bit aggressive, to try to suppress the third base.
He's gonna get this Banshee, and that's awesome.
Oh, wow.
Nice cloak save there. But he keeps the Banshees on his back. Now he's gonna go to the main base. You gotta be careful of these turrets, though. I don't like this. 1 meter for a turret?
That is not worth it.
That's like when I used to get ripped off with Pokemon cards, man, when I was a kid. I thought that holographic one was the rare one, but that just was not true.
Yeah.
That was a fake Charizard, man.
And that's something that I find really weird. Because why would you think that the holographic one is that? No, kidding. No,
it was a sticker, man. It was a fake card. I fell for it. It happened to me like twice when I was a kid. I got a Jolteon that was holographic like that ended up being fake, and a Charizard, man. I lost good cards. I was young, man. I was like 8 years old.
Yeah,
but you know what?
ripped you off.
Even after I found out it was fake, I tricked all my friends to thinking it was real, and they believed me.
Now the thing here is really, why would you ever attack with a Mutalisk into such a turret?
It's must have been just a lapse in judgment. Maybe he thought that he could have killed it. Maybe also potentially he was working on, hitting injects at home and just kind of botched his micro there.
It's just not enough, and you usually know that.
This is not a good idea either, actually.
Jay is kind of falling apart. That is You can't do that. You know that when you play Mutalisk against Terran, this is not what you want. What you want is to make them run. Make them run between all the bases.
Go where their Marines are not. Make their Marines be where you are, not go where their Marines are and make the Marines really happy that you went there.
Killing a Terran with early Mutalisk pressure is something that sometimes works, but usually not.
And you know, even if you do it, you don't want to fight the Marines head-on without Baneling support.
No. Only if you realize, well, they don't have combat shield, which is, by the way, the case, and there are low numbers, which was not the case.
Yeah, like low numbers, like less than 5 or less.
Yeah, exactly.
Never with medevac support.
So LucifroN has a lot of momentum going for him now.
Ton. In fact, with this cloak Banshee push, he's got the Marines to support.
He killed so many Mutalisks that he knows that it can't be a lot.
You should target down the Banelings with the Banshees. He does, in fact. And now the Marine split is really good. The Hellion support is awesome as well. And now the Banelings are all gone. I don't know if Jay can actually hold this third base. He's got a few more Banelings on creep here.
He's even gonna try to get a fourth, but look at this force here.
I think he barely has enough to defend, actually. With the tank sieging up a little bit late, he should be able to defend this.
Yeah, he will be able to defend, and still a 40 supply lead for Jay, but the problem to me is really that we have 3 bases now for the Terran player. We have him with +2/+2 on his way. Same upgrades that Jay has, granted, but with the medevac support, this is just a lot more effective for the Terran here. So if LucifroN is able to just save those bases, then I don't know, it's going to be really difficult for Jay to make this work. He just lost too many resources with those Mutalisks.
Yeah, and it's I mean, he's got that supply lead, but if he can push through and make this really work, which there's not a lot of siege tanks to defend right now, I think he actually may be able to take a pretty hefty lead. The Banshees are not anywhere to be seen. Baneling hits here were okay, but I think this is actually a much better trade for LucifroN. The thing is, the Mutas are still going strong here. He needs to come over and deal with those. Now he brings some Marines in.
Yeah.
One Muta goes down, but it was worth it to get those SCVs.
Yeah, this time it was a little bit better with how he approached with the Mutalisk. You can lose those Zergling, that's fine. But yeah, at least he was able to save his Mutalisk. And 11 Harvesters killed in total, that's not something that's going to kill LucifroN, not with 3 Orbitals. But look at the Harvester count.
I know, I almost
Jay
knocked my cup over on the table when I saw that 102 drone count.
He had 104 a second ago. He's going crazy on the Harvesters here.
He keeps LucifroN on the defensive with his pressure and then goes up for the drones, and now he's going to make, of course, a bunch of structures because he wants to free up that supply, but he's made a lot of money off these drones for sure.
Yeah, but still, I mean, he needs to be very careful that if he maxes out later, that he does not have have enough army supply.
Yeah, and right now he's already down 20 army supply despite being ahead 20 total supply. 13 Banelings are morphing, but they're not near this 4th base.
I actually think that he doesn't realize how many harvesters he has.
He may not, man.
That's too much.
He's actually getting a great siege up position here. Just a few Marines at the front, taking out these harvesters, doesn't even target the hatchery down.
Well, he kills the spike crawler first, and now takes down a few of those drones.
So many of the drones going down, but this actually could be a blessing for Jay.
Yeah, it actually could be. One siege check not sieged up kind of refuses.
He's going for a counterattack. He's trying to catch reinforcements, but the thing is, LucifroN's too smart for that, man. He didn't even send any reinforcements across. He actually just kept this one force, and he was like, if this whole force dies, I just make sure I do damage with it, and I'm not going to send any more across the map.
LucifroN is so well spread with this army at home that it's just impossible for Jay to attack. And now look at the supply suddenly. Things completely turned around. We have a lead for LucifroN in army supply, in overall supply, and he's just going to siege forward. This time he's most likely going to be cleared up, but the only thing that he needs to do here is
trade.
Yeah.
And he targets down the Banelings, gets out of here.
A lot of the Banelings are gone, and this is exactly what you want when you're LucifroN. You want your opponent to waste his resources on you, and now a 4th base being set up for LucifroN with a planetary fortress. I like his position. I like it a lot. +3/+3 being researched here. And Jay is doing the same, so in upgrades there won't be an advantage for the Terran, but it's just like Marines are so cost efficient, and if you have those maxed out upgrades as well, that's going to help you.
There's 2 burrowed Banelings, which ended up being a problem for him last game. We'll see if Jay can get off some good hits this game as well. Those are in a great position. I don't think he's going to go back up, though. There's no reason for him to go back up, but if he does,
yeah,
that could have been disastrous.
It definitely could have been. I mean, there are so many Marines. Now, maybe, and... No.
Oh
Doesn't
wow,
use them.
I mean, maybe trying to wait for more, but I think that would have been worth it.
I think he saw them.
Yeah, I think he just was busy microing elsewhere. There's 2 units on the watchtower. What are those the Banshees from earlier? No, those are changelings. I was like, what is going on over there? I see when you reach changelings on the minimap, sometimes it's confusing.
Nice.
Yeah, that
Nice
was a
scan here.
nice scan. He's not taking any chances this game.
Catches all of the burrowed banelings that were over here. Counter attacked by Jay again. Going into the third base, and there's not a lot to defend. In fact, there's nothing.
You should save the banelings for sure over there. I don't think you will.
LucifroN is gonna lose all his harvesters. The banelings are gone. That third base is likely to die. But the same is true for the bases of Jay, because LucifroN suddenly has this massive force that is able to go in there. Nice fungals, but a few of the infestors are already dead, and half of the force is heading to the top left, taking down this base that is currently being built. At the right side of the map, there is too much defending for LucifroN.
Yeah, he's got just barely too much. The medevacs trying to heal their way through here, and look at that, even with like 5 Marines on it. That's why I said earlier, man, you need less than 5 Marines if you're gonna fight with me. So there's 5 with medevacs.
The
Not a
Mutalisks
chance.
just don't have the upgrades. It's 0-0 upgrades for the Mutalisks, and against 3 Marines and medevacs, well, good luck, have fun.
Oh, it's definitely not going to be fun. He's going to need a lot of luck for that type of engagement. This counterattack could be slightly more successful.
No repair on the planetary.
Yeah, and he actually got 1 hit off on those SCVs. Look at that train of disaster.
That's a bit of a base race that we have here, and I just feel that LucifroN is getting the better
got the
end
better
of the
army,
deal.
and he's just going to use it.
Look at the DPS. Those Marines are running in, and he's going to be supply blocked.
Yep.
No,
And
LucifroN already is, and Jay will be.
yeah, and Jay with that, he's saying his units back, but there's already a split here. I feel like LucifroN, I mean, he's up 40 army supply. He's got the better position at the top of this ramp with the choke point. All the tech is dying. He's not even scanning to kill these harvesters because he just doesn't care.
And how can you engage this army? The ramp is going to be completely blocked by all those siege tanks. As soon as any unit is running up this ramp, there will be a massive shot of the tanks. The main base is exposed.
He's got a ton of banelings in there, but he's not trading efficiently with them.
A lot of them already died, and with good splits, that's all that that LucifroN needs. And LucifroN still has a little bit of mining going on, and he can build more units. Here we go.
Oh, here we go with that banelings coming down here, and you know, Jay just does not quite have enough. The Medos are dying. He's going to clean up this army potentially, but the second army that's at home is just very happy with this.
Exactly. He's going to take a third base now again, and just look at the army supply after this engagement. 23 for Jay. 62 for LucifroN. He's tripling his opponent's army supply.
And the worker count is actually in his favor as well, 40 to 31. So even though there's all these hatcheries over the map, he's not mining from them. Doesn't matter that they're there.
Scans ahead and sees the banelings. Those could have been really difficult. And this has to be it.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, here comes LucifroN, and look at this army, guys. He is more than doubling his opponent's overall supply, just waiting for a good position to be in. Those bases that have been built by Jay, yeah, they are cute, but are they really gonna mine enough to give him the chance to get his army back into the game?
I don't see it. Yeah.
A third base is up for LucifroN again. He has mining going on. He has the option to drop a couple of fuels, which he doesn't even need to do here. And here comes another attempt of LucifroN to end the game, running in with a few Marines, taking down one harvester after another. At the low ground, we have the tanks sieged up. And well, good luck to approach this shade. Looks like we're having a third game.
Yeah, looks like it. If I don't die from my chair breaking. GG.